Big event coming up for you Alabama basketball fans happening this Friday night at 8:30 at Coleman Coliseum. Fans can purchase tickets for Friday night's event for just $10. The students get in free. The night will begin with an introduction to this year's team. There'll be a three-point competition. I think I'm betting on Sears, but we'll find out who wins that. A dunk contest. Hell, I may take Mark Sears in that too. The guy's a competitor. They'll have a team scrimmage. First 2,000 fans in attendance will receive a replica banner and a Final Four poster. You can get your tickets at RollTide.com. RollTide.com. Students get in free. Big night coming up on Friday. I mean, chills on my body when they ran onto the floor at the Final Four to see that banner go up Friday night. It's going to be an emotional time for a lot of hoop fans.
I would imagine it will be for Nate Oats, the head basketball coach at Alabama. He is with us now on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Coach? How are you today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. So this is a little bit like old school Midnight Madness that all the programs used to do back in the day. I kind of miss that. Like, I don't think a lot of programs do the Midnight Madness anymore because of the rule change. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you're right. It used to be that October 15th whenever, and everybody's excited. Now, by October 15th, it seems like we got 3 weeks of practice in, and you've had the individual skill instruction all fall. So it's not like, the Midnight Madness has kind of gone out the window, and now it's people do similar events to this.
So dunk contest, three-point contest. Dunaway said he'd take Sears both. I don't think I've ever seen Sears dunk.
No, I was joking about that.
Once. I remember he was on the baseline, but he's definitely not winning the dunk game.
But hey, life online, you've got to take one of your guys off the roster to shoot for you to win this contest. Who would the guy be? Just 3 point.
Ooh, look, I'll tell you what, Holloway's been shooting the lights out. Reitzel and Sears, obviously, from last year. One of those three, and you know what, Sears has done it long enough. I'll take Sears right now with the way the questions been worded. But Holloway and Reitzel are right there with them, and day to day, those three aren't missing too many shots.
I saw some video from Holloway. He is apparently, you mentioned those 3 weeks of practice. They apparently have gone quite well for him from all the reports.
Yeah, offensively, he's been really good. I mean, he's shooting the ball well. He's getting downhill. We got to get him better on defense. But offensively, he's been really, really good.
If somebody had stumbled into your practice gym and saw 5 minutes of practice, it looked like all you did was work on defense from those people that happened to be in your gym. I get the feeling you don't want to go through another year like you did last year, the way it looked defensively. It ended up being really good at the end. But defense seems to be what you're coaching right now.
No, we got our guys to guard for 3 week stretch in March. Outside of that, we weren't very good on defense. It cost us SEC championship, cost us an SEC tournament. We weren't good in that. Like we've got to be a lot better through the course of the year on defense. So some of our new players are going to significantly help our defense, but just the mentality's got to get a lot better than it was last year.
I know you're really comfortable with this roster. Is it, and just because you have a great roster doesn't necessarily equate to another Final Four winning a championship, but on paper, what you're seeing right now in practice, best roster you've ever had?
Yeah, I think so. When you talk 1 through 13, this is the deepest one we've had. We've got experience, we've got youth and athleticism, we've got depth at every position. So, we're a little banged up right now, but even with some guys out, we've got so much depth. We're still pretty good we're playing inter-squad scrimmages and going against each other. When we come together, we've got a lot of pieces. So, yeah, I think it's our best roster we've had since we've been here. There's no Brandon Miller, if you will, but Mark Sears is a very good college player that scored a lot of points in college and can score buckets. We're trying to get him to that next level. We got to get his defense to be better and some of that. When we were talking about scoring the basketball in a college game, he's done as well as anybody we've had here.
8:30 Friday night, Coleman Coliseum. The banner goes up, man. The Final Four banner. Fans can purchase tickets for just $10. Students free admission. All the stuff we've been talking about. But that banner's going up. You can get your tickets at RollTide.com. RollTide.com. I know the goal is to hang a different banner with finishing the deal, but just some emotions to see that one going up into the rafters at Coleman Coliseum for you, Coach. Share what Friday night's going to be like for you.
I mean, it's going to be special. I mean, they've never had a Final Four team here before. So, I've been talking to all these fans that have been basketball fans for a long time around here and never had one. So they're, we finally, I feel like we've had some very loyal fans, and they deserved Final Four. The program's kind of been knocking on the door for, various times throughout the course of Alabama basketball, and we finally got one. So it'll be special just to think about what we were able to accomplish, but then it'll also be nice to raise the banner, flip the script, and start focusing on this year.
RollTide.com for all that information on that. As you play preseason games, some of the exhibition games, you've got one here in Birmingham, you've got one in Huntsville, obviously you'll play some at Coleman. How critical is that with the roster Lance mentioned, a bunch of guys that haven't played games together to find your rotations? Is it even more critical than normal because of the way you've constructed this roster?
Yeah, I think so. We've got, I think it's a lot of college rosters got a lot of new players with the way the transfer portal works and all that. So, with us, got 5 returners, 4 freshmen, 4 transfers. I think it's good that those guys are able to play together against a quality opponent. Both those, Wake Forest in Birmingham and Memphis up in Huntsville, both those teams are quality opponents that will give us a chance to play a lot of different combinations. We're not going to have a starting group figured out. We'll probably start 2 different lineups, both those exhibition games, and play a lot of different guys together and see how it all looks. But I think it's important to play in front of people, especially for the freshmen, to get some experience. You could do the close scrimmages, but those are a little different than actually having people in the stands. So I think the deal in Birmingham is going to be super cool. At Boutwell, that's going to be pretty tight, close knit. Hopefully they get loud. Hopefully we get the right type of fans in there. I know it won't be a student section only type crowd, but hopefully the people in there get that place pretty loud for us.
Who'd you see in concert at Boutwell?
Oh, I've seen a lot. I saw Ozzy Osbourne, and I saw Motley Crue open for Ozzy Osbourne in Boutwell.
Oh, what a night!
That was before they were any good, huh?
Oh, it was the Shout at the Devil tour and Bark at the Moon for Ozzy. So I mean, they were coming to their own. They wore all the makeup back then. Pretty wild scene. Hey, I was going to ask you. We were talking parity earlier, and obviously a lot about the Vanderbilt upset over Alabama, and where we are now with the transfer portal. I would think it would even affect you guys with smaller rosters more. We saw Florida Atlantic in a Final Four just 2 years ago. Do you think we're going to have, some of these mid-major teams that when it all comes together and you've got maybe one guy that transferred in, or maybe they're able to keep these together, that those are more difficult outs and we start seeing a lot more parity in college basketball?
You know what? I don't know, to be honest with you, because it's also like when I was at Buffalo, we made it up to 14th in the country. It'd be a lot harder to do that now because I think, there's just no way we would have the NIL to match some of these other places. So some of those mid-majors that have guys developing through, all of a sudden they're not going to be there. They're going to be really good for their sophomore year, and then they're going to be gone somewhere else. So I don't know. Like it's, I think it's going to be hard on mid-majors, but I do think you're still going to see some of them that are able to kind of develop some talent, maybe keep them around. So it's a hard question. I guess we'll have to see over it because it's all new. I mean, NIL is pretty new. The transfer portal is pretty new. It's all changed since I've got here. So we'll have to see what ends up happening.
Are you shocked by these upsets, though, in college football?
Yeah. I mean, did I expect to see Vanderbilt beat Alabama? No, like, absolutely not. Like, yeah, I'm very, I wouldn't think that. And again, I don't know why I'm not a football coach, but I would think that these places with more resources, higher profiles would be able to get more of the talent, if you will. Now, I will say this. Getting some of the transfers at these places it's filtered down a little bit. Some of the mid-majors in places are getting more high school kids, like a high school kid that we would have taken in the past. Maybe we don't take anymore because now we're going to take a transfer. So that high school kid that people maybe missed on all of a sudden is playing really, really well, at a mid-major. I mean, you look at Vanderbilt, that their quarterback transferred in from New Mexico State, so maybe some of those places are able to get those really good mid-major quarterbacks, point guards, whatever, and maybe they weren't quite as, Vanderbilt's obviously not getting the same type of talent that you'd expect Alabama to get, but they were able to get pretty good talent at New Mexico State. Shoot, I watched that game. That quarterback looked pretty good Saturday.
Do you ever think you'd still be getting the boat on the lake in October now that we're still in the 90s in October and you're not in Buffalo or Michigan anymore?
I know. Man, this weekend it was perfect lake weather. I did not get it out there. We had an inter-squad scrimmage. I had to break the film down. I was helping my daughter write a research paper Sunday. I would have much rather been on the lake, that's for sure. But I was trying to be a good dad. And we didn't quite finish that up. And then I had the Packers game like at 3. It was like church, research paper, Packers game, and I missed a great day on the lake. But we definitely were not getting on the lake in October up in Buffalo. That's for sure.
Packers stole one yesterday.
Lance is a Rams fan. If you want to break down the Packers-Rams game yesterday,
Rams are 1-4 right now.
Oh, I get it. Wow, I get it. I mean, what are you going to do with no Puka Nacua and no Cooper Kupp? I mean, there was not a go-to guy.
A lot of excuses being sound.
Yeah. You guys,
Packers didn't have Jordan Love for the whole first 3 or 4 weeks.
That's probably a good thing. Turnover machine now.
Boy, that
overpaid.
That interception he threw out of your end zone.
Down there late, the pick six was not good. I agree.
Not good. All right, for all the information, rolltide.com. You want to run through what all they get here?
Rolltide.com. We can say bye to Coach, and I can hit it all this after we say bye to Coach.
Good
Appreciate
to see
you guys having me on. Hopefully we see a lot of your listeners and you guys on Friday night.
Absolutely, man.
You bet. Take care, Coach. That's Nate Oats on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Rolltide.com for all the info on what Jim's about to tell you.
It's this Friday night, 8:30, Coleman Coliseum. It's football weekend, so a lot of you are already packed and over there tailgating on Friday nights. Fans purchase tickets. Do it in advance in case it approaches a sellout. Just $10. Students get free admission. Night begins with an introduction to this year's team. Now welcome. And then there's a 3-point competition, a dunk contest, and then you'll actually get them to scrimmage. And as he said, it's the deepest team they got. So you'll be able to watch them go 5-on-5 full court scrimmage there. This is my favorite part. First 2,000 fans in attendance will receive a replica banner and Final Four poster. So that's a replica banner and Final Four poster. So you're going to get a teeny tiny little Final Four banner that'll look just like the one that'll hang up in the rafters.
Teeny tiny. They probably want you to sell it better than teeny tiny.
I'm just saying that
it's replica, Jim.
10-year-old little Junior Dunaway down in the Smoky Road area had a little play basketball arena downstairs to have teeny tiny little banners to hang up down there would have only added to the atmosphere. Fantastic. Rolltide.com to celebrate the Final Four coming up at the top on Friday night. Should be fun. 8:30.